Villain husband, please let go. Chapter 1, got dumped on the day of the wedding. On the 4th day of July, there is auspicious day for marriage. At the entrance of the most luxurious Junting Hotel in City A, luxury cars were gathered at this time, and the city's big figures followed. They are all here to attend the wedding of Tang Wan, a wealthy woman with a wealth of 10 billion. It is said that the groom is just a poor boy who has just graduated, not only has no money and no power, but also looks like a normal person, but Tang Wan has taken a fancy to him because of his fate. I don't know how many men envy his ancestors for the accumulated virtues, so that his life can be saved for decades. But the guests at this time didn't know that this bridegroom officer, who was envied by countless men, had already run away at this time. Yes, he escaped from marriage. In the dressing room of the hotel, Tang Wan trembled in anger as she watched the apology text from the man on the phone. Wan, I'm sorry, I can't let her down. You have everything, but she has nothing but me. Without me, she will not survive. I'm leaving, the wedding is cancelled. Sun Wu is a bastard, dared to run away with other women on the day of the wedding. Did he play her Tang Wan as a monkey? At this time, another text message sounded, and Tang Wan turned it on and saw it read, "What if you are richer than me? Ah, Wu hasn't chosen me not to want you. You are not worthy of a copper-smelly woman. Have love. You deserve to be dumped by so many men." The next moment, Tang Wan just got up from the chair with a squeeze, burning with anger. When the staff in the dressing room saw this, they were all shocked. What happened to this? Actually tell Tang Wan to be like this when the weather is getting married? In the mirror, the woman in the snow-white wedding dress is now with her willow eyebrows upside down and her face is full of chills. She is extremely beautiful, and she is white and snowy, so even if she is angry, she looks beautiful. How beautiful is it? Her fiancé, let her rich and handsome fiancé not want, and ran away with that pretentious little green tea schoolgirl. And she deserves to be dumped because of her wealth and beauty. To be honest, Sun Wu is still far from Tang Wan's criteria for mate selection. But in order to crack her own destiny of being orphaned, even if Sun Wu fell short of her standards, she was still ready to marry because he at least had the courage to marry her. After all, each of the 99 boyfriends she talked about earlier was the same as the fortune teller said. They found true love within a month, and then gave up her beautiful and rich golden flower without hesitation. Sun Wu is the only man who has been dating her for 3 months and has not broken up with her. Although they didn't even hold their hands several times in the middle, she also knew that he came for her own money. But she doesn't care, as long as she breaks her own bad luck, and cares about the other party's purpose. But she did not expect that the other party did not break up for 3 months because they wanted to make a big deal on their wedding day. This guy escaped from marriage on the wedding day. She stood up from the chair with a squeeze. Tang Wan's eyes full of coldness suddenly swept the dressing room. The next moment, she looked directly at one of the male makeup artists and said, "You, as long as you marry me today, I will give you half of the Tang family's property afterwards. It doesn't matter how you play after marriage, as long as you are with me today, just have a wedding." She didn't believe him anymore. Tang Wan would be a single dog for the rest of her life, and she wouldn't even be able to get married. 1v1, the male protagonist is a single person, the author wrote in the first chapter. If he has something to say, why you can't see it, add the text. Villain husband, please let go. Chapter 2, does it matter if I am gay? When the male makeup artist heard Tang Wan's words, he was immediately stunned, and the others around him looked at him with envy, and wanted to be pointed at by Tang Wan casually. That is 5 billion fortune. After a while, the male makeup artist reacted, and then his face flushed and asked, "Is it okay if I am gay? It doesn't matter if you are or something else, as long as you hold a wedding with me, 5 billion will be yours." Tang Wan said. "I promise you." The opponent nodded desperately excitedly. Tang Wan snapped her fingers when she heard, "Okay. You guys, quickly change his clothes and style." Ah. Do you really think she must be Sun Wu? 3-legged toads are hard to find, there are so many 2-legged men. Hearing Tang Wan's words, the others immediately got busy, pressing the temporary groom on the chair and putting on makeup and changing suits. Half an hour later, Tang Wan wore a crown studded with jewels, and the bridegroom, who was fighting on both legs, arm in arm with each other, walked towards the wedding scene. However, no one expected that when Tang Wan walked to the center of the hotel lobby, the huge crystal chandelier suddenly smashed down against Tang Wan. Boom! The crystal chandelier made a dull falling sound amidst the screams of the guests. Tang Wan fell to the ground. The red blood instantly stained her white wedding dress. The exquisite makeup on her face was completely covered by the makeup. Covered by the blood flowing down his forehead, it looked terrifying. The temporary bridegroom was already scared and stupid, but the strange thing was that the two were obviously holding hands, but he was not involved. Soon, the security guard came and lifted the chandelier. Among the guests, the hospital director came to inspect Tang Wan's body. After a while, the other party shook his head with regret. Miss Tang Wan has died on the spot. Upon hearing this, the guests suddenly made a sigh. It is said that Tang Wan is a rare lifestyle of Zhu Gu, who cannot marry, but the rumors are actually true. Now, I took my life into it. At this time, Tang Wan found that she was in a misty space. She looked around in confusion, a little strange what place it was. If she guessed correctly, she had been smashed to death just now, and it was really painful. Fortunately, she died fast and didn't suffer the crime. Here, is it the legendary Yin Chao Jifu? Just when Tang Wan was puzzled, she suddenly heard a childlike voice that pretended to be old-fashioned. Do you want a perfect husband who is gentle, caring, handsome and rich? Number 998, number 888, as long as my father is bound, all kinds of perfect husbands will be delivered home, absolutely childish, and will not wait for expiration. Hearing this, Tang Wan suddenly twitched the corners of her mouth speechlessly, then swept around and asked, Who are you? Listen to his voice, he seems to be a child. But after Tang Wan's words fell, there was an extra cute boy in front of him who was dressed in black ancient clothes and looked as beautiful as a doll. He is probably only 2 or 3 years old, but his fair little face now looks like a small adult and his pretending appearance is almost foul. Tang Wan wanted to step forward to squeeze his white tender and chubby face. My name is Dad. Because your unwillingness to want a husband before you die is too strong, so I will find you and fulfill your wish. The child said solemnly. After hearing this, Tang Wan twitched her mouth fiercely again. How could she want her husband? She's just not willing to marry herself, okay? Villain husband, please let go. Chapter 3, I am your father. Even if what you say is true, what are you? I'm not a thing, I'm a system. Haven't you read the system text? The child said in a loud voice. Tang Wan finally couldn't help but laughed. You really are called Dad. Can't your name be changed? I can be your mother. Are you embarrassed to make me call Dad? The name cannot be changed, the system has a number, my number is called Dad. In fact, his number is 88. But 88 is homophonic with Dad, isn't it? In that case, why not let the host call him Father? He is really a clever ghost, so he can take advantage of the host in words. Give yourself a thumbs up. Looking at his old-fashioned look, Tang Wan couldn't help but stepped forward, then stretched out his claws toward his face and kneaded it. It feels good, like a real person. Are you really alive? Tang Wan was surprised. Tang Wan squeezed her cheeks, the child's cheeks suddenly turned red, and then explained with a stern face, Of course, in order to give the host the best experience, our batch of systems have chosen a humanoid shape. The touch is the same as a real person. Also, time is running out. If you don't bind with me, you will soon be gone. But if you bind with me, you can break the fate of being alone and have any kind of husband you want. Tang Wan wasn't so foolish. When she heard the child, she narrowed her eyes and said, There is such a cheap thing in the world. You won't be talking about me? Hearing Tang Wan's words, the child seemed a little anxious, and immediately said, Of course there is nothing so beautiful. You have to complete some strategy tasks according to my requirements, and obtain the energy value that will continue to exist, and wait for the energy value to accumulate. To a certain extent, it can be exchanged for a chance of rebirth. Hearing this, Tang Wan was a little surprised. Can she be reborn? But looking at the child's nervous eyes, she showed a thoughtful look, always feeling that things are not that simple. But soon Tang Wan stopped struggling. She was dead anyway, and she hadn't had a serious relationship in her life. If the binding system could really break the fate of being alone, why not try? The next moment, Tang Wan nodded to the system, I can bind you, but I won't call your father. If you don't agree, I won't be bound even if my soul is lost. As soon as this was said, the child immediately showed an unhappy look, but soon, he nodded reluctantly, well, I will give you the right to change your name once, but you can't give me a name that is too ugly. Tang Wan heard this and immediately said with a smile, don't worry, how about just calling you cute? Hearing this, the child breathed a sigh of relief and reluctantly hummed. Although not domineering enough, it is better than his companions named Erguzi by the host. Afterwards, he said to Tang Wan, now start binding the system. The system is being tested, the matching is 100% qualified, the system is being bound. System binding is complete. When the prompt of successful binding came out, a female voice with a metallic texture sounded, congratulations to the host for binding one of the cute system. Next, please follow the cute system to the 3000 worlds to complete the mission and obtain energy points. The system determines that when the host's accumulated energy value reaches 1 million, you can get a chance to rebirth. Villain Husband, please let go. Chapter 4, Dark Gangster 1. Hearing this, Tang Wan immediately understood, this is what the host gave, and the system must be called. Seeing this, she couldn't help looking dangerously at little cutie, did you mean it just now? If she agrees to call it the dad system, wouldn't it always have to be called a kid's dad? Hearing Tang Wan's words, little cutie had a guilty conscience for a second, and said confidently, I was originally called dad system. I didn't lie to you. I think it's called the 88 system, right? Tang Wan opened him with a glance. Upon seeing this, little cutie immediately struck her neck and said, yes, isn't this dad? Tang Wan was speechless. Does the system play word games? At this moment, the little cutie was afraid that Tang Wan would continue to entangle the name, and immediately urged, since it has been bound, let's go to the mission world now. Now go to the novice world, in the time and space shuttle, the energy body matching the host is detected, drops. When Tang Wan woke up again, she found with a dazed expression that her feet were stepping on the face of a teenager in school uniform. And under the boy's messy hair, a pair of pitch-black indifferent eyes looked at her slantingly. Tang Wan subconsciously withdrew her right foot. The conscience of heaven and earth, although she grew up with a honeypot in her hands, Tang Wan has not been very temperamental, but this kind of bullying has never been done. Little cute, what's going on? Tang Wan quickly called the system. Hearing Tang Wan's words, little cutie quickly replied, host, please wait a moment, I am accepting the mission world data, drops. The data is accepted successfully, please check. As soon as these words came out, Tang Wan's mind automatically showed a plot. Her current body, also called Tang Wan, is the eldest lady of the Tang group. When she was 10 years old, her father brought back an illegitimate child. Tang Wan's mother was so angry that her body was not good, and Tang Wan hated her. My father, stepmother, and the illegitimate child they brought back, the personality has become arrogant and domineering. Unfortunately, the illegitimate son brought back by Tang's father, the young Tang Yidong who was trampled under her feet in front of him, is also the great villain of this world. Judging from the plot, this Tang Yidong did not live well because he returned to the Tang family, because his biological mother, Zhao Xia, was actually a senior call girl who had been contacting Father Tang with the idea of borrowing her son to become a superior. During the period, she also accompanied other men. After giving birth to Tang Yitong, it was discovered that he was not the son of Tang's father. Zhao Xia's rich dreams were broken, and there was an oil bottle with an unknown father. Naturally, he didn't look good at Tang Yitong, so Tang Yitong was abused by Zhao Xia since childhood. Before going to the Tang family, his personality began to be distorted. Later, after Zhao Xia used Tang Wan's blood to forge a paternity test report, and after successfully bringing Tang Yidong into the Tang family, Tang Wan continued to bully him, and Tang Yidong's temper became increasingly crooked. But he actually had a very high IQ, and it was precisely because of this. In the end, because he hated the world too much, he planned a mass murder that shocked the world. He researched a terrible new virus that infected countless people and died. In the end, it was the male protagonist of this world, Lu Yi, who developed a vaccine against the virus and saved all mankind. As for Tang Wan, when Tang Yidong was 16 years old, he designed a group of punks to be defiled, then abducted and sold to the mountainous area, and was beaten to death by the person who bought her alive. Villain Husband, Please Let Go Chapter 5, Diablo 2. And now, this villain who almost destroyed all mankind in the future, like a weed on the side of the road, looks weak, helpless and pitiful, and was bullied by her to the point. Thinking of the original owner's fate, Tang Wan couldn't help but subconsciously look at Tang Yitong, shrinking her feet. Is she still too late to apologize now? Just when Tang Wan was thinking about it, little cutie said, "Ding. Host, your mission is coming. Please change the life of the villain Tang Yitong, don't let him do things that destroy the world, destroy the balance of the world, mission upon completion, reward 100 points and a newbie gift pack." Hearing this, Tang Wan immediately asked, "It's okay to complete the task, but what about my future husband? Didn't you say that after binding you, can you give me a different type of husband?" As soon as these words came out, little cutie immediately said without guilty, "The target person is your future husband. After system testing, you and Tang Yitong's birth date match is 100%, one is an lonely child, and a lonely star, it's just a match made by nature. A marriage is made by nature. So, let Tang Yitong be influenced with love. He is still young, and it is possible to train him into any kind of husband." Tang Wan listened, her expression distorted for a moment. "I believe in your evil. This is called the perfect husband. Do you have any misunderstanding of the word perfect? Is it too late for me to untie you now?" Tang Wan gritted her teeth. "Sorry to the host, after binding the system, unless the energy value reaches -10,000, the host will die automatically, otherwise it will not untie." Little cutie looked innocent, and felt happy. It's really pleasant to see the host look like he can't understand him and can't beat him. After listening to Tang Wan took several deep breaths, then she looked down at Tang Yitong, who was staggering and standing up blankly. At this moment, another girl next to Tang Wan pushed him down again. "Did Wan allow you to leave?" Xiao Yezhong. Hearing the girl's words, Tang Wan hurriedly stopped her. "Forget it, Wei Wei, let him go, let's go first." After that, he took the girls and left. The girl's name is Zhou Weiwei, a close friend of Tang Wan's boudoir. After learning about her, she has been helping her to bully Tang Yitong. As for her fate, she was naturally not very good. She was finally designed by Tang Yitong and a wretched elder in her 50s and 60s. The man got into bed, had to marry him for the Zhou family, and was killed by domestic violence. But she was also really good to Tang Wan. After Tang Wan disappeared, she suspected Tang Yidong for the first time, but it was a pity that Tang Yidong didn't have any handle left to let people catch him. After leaving, Zhou Weiwei looked at Tang Wan with a little puzzled. Wan, don't you hate him the most? Why don't you just forget it today?" Tang Wan listened to her body for a while, then shook her head. "I suddenly thought it was boring to bully him. After all, my dad is too scumbag. If he can control himself, will things become like this in the future? Don't bully Tang Yidong anymore, bullying him can't change anything, right?" Hearing Tang Wan's words, Zhou Wei was stunned. "That's what you said, I will listen to you, and I will just ignore him in the future. Well, I'm going back first." Tang Wan waved to Zhou slightly and walked towards the school gate. After Tang Wan got in the car, the driver was about to start the car, so he heard Tang Wan stop him. "Uncle Li, wait for Tang Yitong." Villain Husband, Please Let Go Chapter 6, Diablo 3. Hearing this, the driver Li was a little surprised. Didn't Miss Chang always ask him to drive away quickly? Usually on the way to school, he also drove Tang Yitong out of the car halfway, asking him to go to school by himself. How did you change today? Or, what is she actually thinking of rectifying Tang Yitong? Thinking of this, Lao Li couldn't help but feel a little worried. If this is the case, he will be embarrassed again. 10 minutes later, Tang Yitong limped out of the school gate. All the students who saw him on the road cast strange eyes at him. Who doesn't know, this Tang Yitong is an illegitimate child. In their aristocratic college, the illegitimate child is not a glorious status, even if Xiao Xia is already in the position. Tang Yitong had long been accustomed to this look, and there was no fluctuation in his heart. After leaving the school gate, he walked directly to the bus stop. Anyway, the driver of the Tang family must have left by this time. But what Tang Yitong did not expect was that the driver's voice came from the car window. "Master Yitong, get in the car. The lady has been waiting for you for a long time." Hearing this, Tang Yitong narrowed his eyes, waiting for him. What trick does Tang Wan want to play? He was wary, but Tang Yitong still walked towards the car, because he had no money on him, so he could only walk back without taking the car. Upon seeing this, Old Li quickly came down and opened the rear door. "Master, please come in." Tang Yitong nodded indifferently, then glanced at Tang Wan who was sitting on the other side, and sat down close to the car door. After arriving in the car, he lowered his head and did not go to see Tang Wan. After a while, the car started and drove towards Tang's house. At this time, Tang Wan was talking to Xiao Cutie in her mind. "Little cutie, is there no room for negotiation? Can't you really change my husband? Can't I find a male lead? The male protagonist is someone who has the protagonist's aura. With him, maybe she can stop her being alone." Hearing this, the little cutie said gleefully, "Don't think about it, the male lead is the female lead, you can't take the act of breaking up the male lead." Tang Wan listened and narrowed her eyes. "So, in the future, my identity will be a cannon fodder or a female partner. Obviously selected by the system, shouldn't he be the girl of heaven? The result can only be a cannon fodder or a female partner in the mission world. It's unconvincing." Hearing Tang Wan's question, little cutie nodded quickly. "Yes, but with me, your treatment is no different from that of the hostess. So you don't have to care about these identities, just break the villain well. Yes, our future son-in-law is no worse than the male lead." "My son-in-law? Oh, do you really think of yourself as my father?" Tang Wan said in a dangerous tone. After hearing this, the little cutie quickly changed the subject. "This is not the point. The point is that your opinion value against the party is -100. You have to quickly check his opinion. You only have 1 year, and 1 year later, Tang Yi Tong will be trafficked to you, but you can rest assured, Dad, little cutie will help you create opportunities." After talking, she slipped away, lest Tang Wan asked about the topic just now. After little cutie hides, Tang Wan turns her head slightly and looks at Tang Yitong. At this time, his face was still with obvious scratches, and his thin body shrank in the corner of the car seat, exuding a cold air that no one should enter. Tang Wan felt a little worried when she thought of the -100 favorability rating that Xiao Cutie said. To be honest, since she was a child, she has no heterosexual relationship at all. When she grew up, she took over the company and was surrounded by female workers. Therefore, she had no experience in contact with boys. How could she attack a boy who hates her too much? Thinking about it, my brain hurts. Villain husband, please let go. Chapter 7, Diablo 4. Tang Yitong didn't know what Tang Wan was thinking. Seeing Tang Wan look at him frequently, Tang Yitong became more vigilant. Sure enough, he knew that Tang Wan suddenly asked Lao Li to call herself into the car, and she didn't have any kindness at all. I just don't know how she is going to deal with him next. Did you kick him off the car halfway? Or tell Lao Li to leave him in a remote place? While Tang Yitong was in various conspiracy theories, he suddenly heard Tang Wan say helplessly to him, "What are you doing so far? I won't eat you." She is such an adult, but she is not interested in bullying him as a little boy. Hearing this, Tang Yitong sneered in his heart, but without looking back, wouldn't she eat him? If she soiled her clothes, or accidentally touched her, she would take the opportunity to humiliate him, even scold and beat him. He had already suffered enough, how could he be so stupid to sit closer and give her a chance to make trouble? However, one day, he will let all those who bullied him have no good end. Tang Wan couldn't help but feel a little embarrassed seeing that Tang Yitong didn't even bother to lift her head. She was nakedly ignored. For a while, Tang Wan couldn't help but get a more headache. Is it so difficult to deal with the little kid now? Forget it, let's go back. However, what Tang Wan didn't expect was that Lao Li drove much faster than usual because he was worried about what Tang Wan would do to trim Tang Yitong. He only hoped to get home quickly, but who knew that when he reached the crossroads, someone overtake. Lao Li braked late and could only watch the car next to him collide. Dip. Host, the opportunity is here. Save Tang Yitong. Pounce. Little Cutie suddenly reminded Tang Wan in her mind. Although Tang Wan was still a little dazed, the reaction was not slow. Seeing a car on the right front rushing towards this side, she rushed towards Tang Yitong. The next second, a muffled sound came, and the front passenger's seat door was directly squashed, and then the entire vehicle began to roll over. Tang Wan only felt the sky spin for a while, and her body began to fall over as the vehicle rolled over. But she still held Tang Yitong tightly, holding his head tightly in her arms. But when she hugged Tang Yitong in this way, she realized that the 15-year-old boy was actually skinny. There was no meat on his body, all bones, and it was a panic in his arms. Suddenly, Tang Wan couldn't help but feel a little complicated. Zhao Xia was really cruel. After entering the Tang family through Tang Yitong, she was afraid that Tang's father Tang Wansong would find out that this son was not his own. He didn't care about the life or death of this son, and so did Tang Wansong. When I knew that I had a son before, I was very precious to Tang Yitong. As a result, after Zhao Xia said a lot of Tang Yitong's bad things in his ear, she became more and more disappointed in Tang Yitong, and instead placed all her hopes on her. The youngest son was on him. The two adults didn't care about Tang Yitong. The original owner bullied him so hard that he often refused to ask the servants to feed him. This naturally caused Tang Yitong to become thinner like this. But as soon as Tang Wan sympathized with Tang Yitong in her heart, she slammed her back on the car door. Hiss, she took a breath of pain, her expression distorted. Damn! Come out, cutie, can't you block the pain? Tang Wan felt that her bones were about to break. Little Cutie heard this and quickly came out. The system does not provide pain shielding services for the time being. These functions require the host to exchange energy values for them. Tang Wan, MMP. Don't tell me. Villain husband, please let go. Chapter 8, Diablo 5. At this time, Tang Yitong's expression was a little shocked. Why did Tang Wan want to save him? Doesn't she hate him the most? If it was normal, he could also say that Tang Wan had saved him pretentiously and deliberately, and wanted him to relax his guard so that he could continue to enlarge and recruit him, but when the car accident came, people almost acted on their own instincts. Tang Wan, even if you have more thoughts, you can't make fun of your own life, right? But he really couldn't figure out why Tang Wan did this. At this moment, Tang Wan was so painful that she slightly loosened Tang Yitong's body, and Tang Yitong also took the opportunity to look up at her face at this moment. I saw that Tang Wan's forehead was flowing with a few red blood at this time, her pale little face was crumpled due to pain, and her face was fragile. It seemed that Tang Yitong was looking at her. Tang Wan opened her eyes slightly, and her clear and dark eyes reflected Tang Yitong's unexpected expression. Tang Yitong, are you not hurt? Tang Wan asked weakly. Tang Yitong pursed her lips, then freed herself from her arms. Why do you want to save me? Don't you wish I died sooner? Hearing this, Tang Wan closed her eyes and said, sorry, when I saw you, I thought of the scene of my mother being angry, so I couldn't help but breathe at you. But I have figured it out. Everything is Dad's fault, and you are innocent. From now on, I will not target you again. From now on, you and I owe nothing to each other. After that, Tang Wan couldn't help comparing herself to a scissors hand in her heart. Can be regarded as finding a suitable opportunity to apologize, although the price is a bit disastrous. In this case, as long as she doesn't continue to bully Tang Yitong as before, shouldn't he still find someone to sell her to the ditch after a year? After listening to Tang Wan's explanation, Tang Yitong froze for a moment, then lowered his head, and his long hair covered his eyes, making it difficult to see the expression on his face. At this time, the little cutie jumped out again, in a very useful tone of mind. Congratulations to the host, Tang Yitong's favorability has changed from -100 to -80. Please continue to work hard to influence your little husband. Tang Wan, what a god, little husband. I promise not to kill you when you come out. At this moment, the traffic police outside came, and the door was quickly broken open. Seeing the hand stretched out outside, Tang Wan said to the traffic police, pull my brother out first, my legs are suppressed. As soon as he said this, Tang Yidong suddenly turned his head and looked down, only to realize that Tang Wan's leg was stuck under the seat of the car. For a moment, he couldn't help tightening his hands tightly. He hadn't noticed this just now. Ding! Tang Yidong's favorability degree is +10, and the current favorability degree is -70, how about it? Is the opportunity one created for you great? Little Cutie reported immediately. Tang Wan immediately said, "Shut up, you, do you want me to die again?" Afterwards, she urged Tang Yidong, "Hurry up and reach out to the traffic police uncle." Tang Yidong glanced at her deeply, then silently stretched out his hand towards the broken car window. After a while, his thin body was pulled out by the traffic police. The driver, Lao Li, was also pulled out of the front window at this time, and only Tang Wan was left in the car. But her leg got stuck under the car seat. If she doesn't push the car up, she might not be able to pull it out. Upon seeing this, Tang Wan was speechless. She was simply using her life to attack the villain. Villain husband, please let go. Chapter 9, Diablo 6. However, fortunately, all the passers-by came to help at this time, and the car was quickly lifted up. Tang Wan was also hugged out by a tall traffic police at this time and rushed to the hospital. After arriving at the hospital, Tang Wan's wound was quickly treated. In addition to the broken right leg, her back also suffered various degrees of injuries. She had a slight concussion in her head and needed to be hospitalized for observation for 1 day. After Tang Wan was sent to the ward, Zhao Xia, the stepmother of the original owner, rushed over. As soon as Zhao Xia came up, she cried like a distraught mother, "Poor Wan Wan, why are you hurt like this? Does it hurt? Lao Li's driving skills are not very good. How could there be a car accident?" Hearing this, Tang Wan directly raised her eyes to look at her and said, "Where is my dad? Why didn't he come? She has seen a lot of bitches, and she is not polite to such a woman." Zhao Xia's eyes flickered, and she quickly looked at Tang Wan with embarrassed expression. "Your dad has something to do with his company, so he can't get away. He will come to see you later in the evening." In fact, she deliberately called her little son. I caught Tang Wan's song in order to deepen the gap between the father and daughter. "I think he doesn't want to see me at all, right?" Tang Wan said angrily, and then showed a look of disappointment. Seeing this, the little cutie immediately said in Tang Wan's mind, "Host, I give you full marks for this expression. It's so good. Give you 666 likes." It perfectly showed that Tang Wan was expecting her father to see her. The image of the lost little girl who hopes to fail. Tang Yidong was at the door at this time. Seeing the lonely expression on Tang Wan's face, he suddenly felt that even though Tang Wan was the eldest daughter of the Tang family, she was also very pitiful. The previous savage and fierce character might just be her protective color. Ding! Tang Yidong's favorability is +10, and the current high sensitivity is -60. Hearing the cute report, Tang Wan couldn't help but look at Tang Yidong. Seeing him silently standing aside, Tang Wan looked at him and asked, "Have you checked?" Tang Yidong quickly said, "I'm fine." She protected him well at the time, except for a knock on his arm. He didn't hurt at all. Zhao Xia looked back and forth between the two of them at this moment, and then smiled. "You brothers and sisters, this time you are in trouble together, you should get along well in the future." After that, Chao Tang Yidong said, "Tong Tong, look at how much your sister cares about you. Mother is relieved to see that you are fine." Hearing Zhao Xia's words, Tang Yidong didn't even bother to look at her. She was afraid that she would want to be killed, so that no one would know that he was not Tang Wansong's biological son. Although this person is his own biological mother, the person he hates most in the world is her. This disgusting woman, since she didn't want to be responsible for him, why did she give birth to him? In her eyes, he was nothing more than a tool, and when not in use, he threw it aside. Sooner or later he will make her regret giving birth to him. Tang Wan heard Zhao Xia's words and looked at her coldly. "I don't need you to care about me pretentiously here. If there is nothing wrong, please disappear in front of me immediately." Zhao Xia showed an aggrieved look, and then looked at the nurse in the room pretending to be bewildered. Her eyes were red and she said, "I know I am a stepmother. You don't like me, but I really treat you like your own daughter. Wan, you believe me, I really have no ill will towards you. When the nurse heard this, she understood. Villain husband, please let go. Chapter 10, Diablo 7. Then, she looked at Tang Wan with disapproval. Although I don't know the situation of your home, your stepmother really cared about you just now. I heard that you had a car accident. When she came here just now, she almost panicked. I fell. If it wasn't for you, how could she be so flustered? The stepmother is not all bad, little girl, I think you can try to open up to her. Zhao Xia shook her head as soon as she heard that. She was afraid of Tang Wan being angry. Stop talking, I don't care about this, as long as she grows up safely, it is enough for me. When the nurse listened, she felt that it was not easy for Zhao Xia to become a stepmother. Upon seeing this, Tang Wan suddenly pointed to Tang Yitong on one side, with a sarcasm on her face. Sister nurse, do you know? This child is her own son. Have you ever raised your own son into this skinny look, yourself? But is she wearing gold and silver with a plump mother? Even her own son can't take care of her, so she will treat her stepdaughter well. Pretend to have to trouble some people to act like a little, at least do everything, don't call it people grab the handle. As soon as she said this, Zhao Xia's face suddenly changed, and the nurse stared at Tang Yitong in a daze. This child. She remembered that he had no injuries, but he was severely malnourished. Didn't expect that he was actually the son of this rich wife. Looking at Zhao Xia's expression again, the face of the nurse who likes to watch Gong Do drama suddenly sank. This is true for my own son, how good can I be for my stepdaughter? And what she said just now was clearly deliberately misleading her, so that she thought the girl lying in the hospital bed was an unreasonable master. But in fact, these are all she deliberately to destroy the image of the girl, right? Oh, the appearance is pretty good, but it's a pity that this girl is also a smart person, who directly exposed her true face. Madam, it is reasonable to say that I shouldn't care about your family's affairs, but you are wearing pigeon eggs, why are you not willing to give your son a few bites of food? Even if you remarry, there is no need to starve your own son. Isn't it like this? Don't you think your conscience is overwhelmed? The nurse's face is not pretty. No one likes to be used as a gun. Zhao Xia quickly said, this is all a misunderstanding. You also know that I am remarried. If I treat my son well, my husband might have opinions. But, Tang Yitong is also my father's biological son, isn't it? My father is so rich, why should he treat his own son harshly? Tang Wan said immediately. As soon as these words came out, the nurse's eyes when looking at Zhao Xia changed again, full of contempt. Haha, she turned out to be a woman who borrowed her to be a superior woman. But this boy is also pitiful. His mother has been married to a wealthy family, and she is so stubborn to him that she can't even bear to give him food. This shows how selfish this woman is. Zhao Xia was a little embarrassed to see Tang Wan piercing her without giving her face, but soon she said, didn't you keep bullying Tong Tong and not let him eat? As soon as she said this, Tang Wan suddenly smiled, so you know it, but deliberately didn't care. After that, I looked at Tang Yitong, it seems that even if you are a boy, you have no place in the family. It turns out that I was really wrong before, and I thought that bullying you can give my mother revenge, you see. Does it? Your mother doesn't care about you at all, just like my dad doesn't care about me.